Right, come back to me please. Right, so look, you may notice I have the same three sums on that I had a minute ago for factorising. Right, so this time I'm going solving. So the question is either going to say factorise or solve. Right, so it's always the same, you always have to factorise first. So here you do your two sets of brackets, three types again, three terms, two terms, missing the number, missing the x. So you factorize like before, right? Okay, so I had it, what was it, 3 2's, no, it was this way, wasn't it? Okay, and that was a minus and that's a plus. Okay, they were my factors a minute ago. But if it says, if this question says factorize, stop now. Right? Okay, you're done. If the question says solved, girls, there's an extra step. You have to let each bracket equal to 0. So 2x plus 3 equals 0. And the other bracket, x minus 5 equals 0. So we get 2x is equal to minus 3. And then divide by 2, x is equal to minus 3 over 2. Over here, x on this side minus 5 comes over and becomes plus 5. Now I'm done for solving. Okay, now what could I have used here? I could have used the minus b formula. So the minus b formulas work if it says solve, right? If it says factorize, you have to do the brackets, yes.
Would you use that if you solve it as it's factorized?
Yes, because if you did it this way, no. But if you use the minus b formula, you won't have this line written down. And this is the important line for factorize. Okay? So it depends on which way you do it. So if it says factorize and you use the minus b formula, you'll get a few marks because you can do it eventually, but not all of them. Okay? Right, this one, girls, says solve now. It doesn't say factorize anymore, it says solve. So again, you take out what's common, right? So 2x minus 3. Then you let each bracket equal 0. See the x on its own, the one in the front, that counts as a bracket. So x equals 0 or 2x minus 3 equals 0. So x is on one side, that's solved. X is on one side, numbers on the other. 2x equals 3, divide by 2, x is equal to 3 over 2. So that's one answer, that's your other answer. Okay? Right, here for the third one, first step is factorize. So as it was a minute ago, it's the difference of two squares. So it's 2x to be squared, take away 1 to be squared. So it's two sets of brackets, 2x and 2x, 1 and 1, a plus and a minus. So if it says factorize, I'm done. But it says solve. So solve, I let each bracket equal 0. So 2x plus 1 equals 0. 2x minus 1 equals 0. X is on one side, numbers on the other. Leave the 2x, bring over the 1, it becomes a minus 1. Then divide by 2. So x is equal to minus 1 over 2. Here, leave the 2x, bring over the minus 1, it becomes a plus 1. X, then divide by 2, x is equal to a half. By the way, in the difference of two squares, you'll always end up with the same answers, except one's a plus, one's a minus. Someone asked me something, sorry. Move over the board, yeah, sorry.
Joe, for the question, Joe, if you use minus b,
Yeah.
does it matter if you don't get the same answer?
Yeah, because it's wrong. You should. So have you got, use the minus b formula here. So I get, right, a is 2, b is minus 7, this is...
Sorry, I didn't see that there was a 2. Yeah, no, I get it.
Right, okay, yeah. So you will get the same answer. Right, okay? Right, is that okay? While we're on the minus b formula, we might as well revise it, yeah? Okay, so solve, this is type 1, type 2, type 3. sometimes it looks like type 1, it is type 1, but there's no way you're going to find the factors, okay? Because the factors are big long decimals and you're not going to get them. So how do you know you have to use the minus b formula? Because it'll say solve correct to 2 place of decimals, or it'll say solve and leave your answer in surd form. That means leave it with a square root sign on it, right? Okay, so sometimes this will not work out. So if I say, I might change this a small bit, right? Minus 5x plus 3 equals 0. And it says solve correct to 2 place of decimals. I know straight away I have to use the minus b formula. So a is the number in front of x squared, which is 2. Just the number, don't take the letters. B is the number in front of x, which is minus 5. And c is the number on its own, which is plus 3 or 3. Okay? Then write down the formula. It's in the log table, so you don't need to learn it. But always write it down before you fill it in. Right? Because if you write it down and fill it in at the same time and you fill it in wrong, you get no marks. Whereas if you write it down and then fill it in, you get a 10 marks. Okay? You have to have something correct written on your page. So if the formula is written down and it's correct, you get marks because you've something correct. Whereas if you fill it in wrong without writing it down and you've filled in wrong, there's nothing correct on your page. Right? So there's a minus sign. Then there's b, which is minus minus 5. Then there's plus minus, the square root of. Now always put the b into brackets. So it's minus 5 2b squared minus 4 multiplied by a is 2, right, and c is 3, all over 2 times a, which is 2 times 2, right? So 2 minuses in a row will give me a plus, and then into your calculator you put the plus 1. So you go 5 plus the square root of all that, right, over 4 over 2 times 2. And then you go back and do the minus 1. So you go straight to your calculator from this line. Okay? So into your calculator, for this, you press the fraction button first. Fraction button first. Okay? So you 5 plus 5 plus the square root of, where is it? Open bracket, minus 5, close bracket, squared, minus 4, open bracket, 2, close bracket, open bracket, 3, close bracket. Then go underneath the line, it's 2 times 2, bracket, 2, close bracket, equals, right, and I've done something wrong, lovely, what have I done? Minus 5, oh, what have I written at the start there? Yeah, now I should be right. Okay? Yeah, so one answer is 3 over 2, right? And then go back and change the and change it to a minus sign.
What sign do you change to minus?
The one here. Right, so the one just straight after the 5, near the very start.
Yeah.
Okay? Is that right?
Yeah.
Right, and 1. Right, it's just a stupid one that I picked, worked out evenly, okay? But normally they should give you big long decimals, okay? Is that right? So it's just I picked one that works out, which is just ridiculous. Right, okay? Is that right? Minus b formula. Okay? So that's, I'm going to leave the revision for today. Right, tomorrow I'm going to do the equations, 1 linear, 1 quadratic, revise those. Right, and Thursday I'm just going to have a quick look over indices again, and then we're done. Okay, so for now, wait, I'm going to see, I wish they'd, oh, by the way girls, I didn't do section in the chapter, I didn't do section 3.3 on purpose, right, okay, so leave out section 3.3. Okay, so section 3.3, I didn't do these type ones, okay, I will do them, but just not at the moment, right? 3.3, is that all right? Okay, so when you're revising, leave it out, okay? So, what am I going to get you to do now? I'm going to get you to do, I'm going to put up, I'll put it up onto Teams, right, I'm just going to go straight to the solving ones, because the solving ones, girls, have factorising in them as well. So if you're able to solve, you're able to factorise. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to do these ones 5 down to 26. Okay, I'm going to put a picture of that up on Teams. Right, so that's on page 69, 5 down to 26. Just that column, obviously not 21 something. So it's on page 69, right, 5 to 26. Just the column, please. Right, so that's the first thing I put up. And then I'm going to go to ones involving the minus b formula. And if I ask you to do numbers 6 and 9 on page 73. Page 73, 6 and 9. Okay, so just be careful here, girls. These marked with a black thing from the last time. But the ones I want you to do today are 6 and 9. Okay? Yeah, you can do the minus b formulas, yes, for 5 down to 14. But for 17 to 26, girls, these are type 2. You have to take out the x and then let the x and whatever's in the bracket equal 0, right? And the last ones are type 2, so you can't use the minus b formula. Okay? Right, so I put these photos up in Teams. Yes, sorry.
Can you do more examples of the solving? Because I don't understand how to do them.
Right, okay. Can I put it up and then
Yeah.
I'll do more examples for the people who want to listen.
Thanks.
Right, okay. So I'll just put up these on Teams and you can get started. Oh dear.
Rachel, what's the begin? Leftover. Just the work book I think. And then the last one. Not enough. Finish the short questions and the long questions back.
Okay, and I'm going to put up the answers as well, girls. Right, the first set of questions are 3.2 and the second, the 6 and 9 are 3.4, okay? Hopefully they're all on the one page, so I'll only have to put up one page. Yeah, 3.4 and 3.2, right, okay, so... Okay, they're gone up, okay, so I'm going to do a couple more examples of these, right, so if you wish to listen, do, right, if you don't, right, you have work to be done, okay, right, so if I just look at, Ashin, you wanted type 2 and 3, you don't want the minus b ones.
Which one is minus b?
The ones, you know, so if I had something like 4x squared minus 29x plus 7 equals 0.
Oh, can you just do the minus b for them?
Yeah?
You don't have to do what you did.
No, you don't. You can go, if it says solve, you can do the minus b for that.
And then for
Right? For the ones that something like type 2 was 3x squared plus 10x equals 0.
yeah, I don't know how to do those ones.
So you take out what's common. It's type 2. So you take out what's common. So what's common?
X.
What's left? 3x plus 10, right? Okay, so if I said factorize, I'm done. Are you alright, Orna? Yeah. So if I said factorize, I'm done, but it says solve. So what you do is you take the first bracket. The first bracket is an x on its own. So you let x equals 0. And you take the second bracket, which is a 3x plus 10, and you let that equal 0. Right? Now, that's fine. We know x is a 0. Here we have to solve x's on one side, numbers on the other. So build a wall. So 3x equals, bring over the plus 10, it becomes a minus 10, doesn't it? And then what do I do now? Yeah, so you get x is equal to minus 10 over 3. So that's type 2.
Yeah.
Take out an x and then leave the x equal to 0, that's one answer, and the other bracket, leave that equal to 0 and get a second answer. Okay?
Yeah.
Are all right with that?
Yeah.
Right, and the type 3 then is the difference of two squares. So if I have something like, wait, I won't do that one, because if I have 4x squared minus 9 equals 0. Okay, so you're missing the x term. So it has to be type 3, the difference of two squares. Right, so what squared will give me 4x squared? What squared will give me 4? 2. What squared will give me x squared? X. Right, so it's 2x all to be squared. What squared will give me 9?
3.
3 to be squared. And the next bit you have to learn, okay? So it's just two sets of brackets. It's 2x here and 2x here. Right, it's 3 here and 3 here. And what's the last step?
Plus and minus.
Yeah, a plus and a minus. Okay?
Is that it?
Yeah. No, it says solve. So there's an, if it said factorize, you're done. But if it says solve, you let each bracket equal to 0. Sorry, I need space. Sorry, this is all magnified. Right? So if it says solve, you let each bracket equal 0. So you let the first bracket, which is 2x plus 3, equal to 0. And you let the second bracket, which is 2x minus 3, equal to 0. So then you have x on one side, numbers on the other. So what's the next line? You tell me.
2x plus
Equals.
minus 3.
Very good. And the last line.
X equals minus 3 over 2.
Excellent. Right. And over this one, next line.
2x equals 3.
And the last line.
X equals 3 over 2.
3 over 2. So that's that one.
Okay.
Okay?
Can I just take that one then?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Right. Sorry. Wait now. Okay. If anyone gets stuck, make sure you ask me.